Okay, there we go. That looks to have fixed it. Okay, there we go. Cool, cool, cool. Looks like YouTube's just lagging a bit right now. Perfect. Almost there. Okay, boom. All right, good to see everyone. Some crazy stuff happening in the Solana ecosystem right now. Crypto Clay, good to see you. Taylor, good to see you. Yeah, beautiful cup and handle forming. We'll talk about who's in trouble. Mickle broke YouTube. Well, I went live and I noticed there was only one live stream going, and I was like, "Oh, that's not right." Guys, make sure if you're getting here early, you smash the like button. Right now, XRP is kind of doing exactly what we've been calling for. We had a really good recovery after this market crash. Now we're just stabilizing. Boy, it looks really good. Something Taylor was just talking about is kind of this cup and handle forming. Definitely see something like that having a lot of potential. Not something that I normally pay too much attention to. But it's a pretty clear one. Someone said great post on X Doge SEC. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People are asking me also, did I send a DM? Of course I sent a DM. Pretty cool to see how many people actually pitched in on that Doge account. We can take a look at it quick right now, but we take a look at what the Doge team is seeing right now. Obviously, they said Doge is seeking help. Number one comment is my comment right here with 2.3 thousand likes. Next is Digital Asset Investor. Here's another one by Digital Asset Investor. John Deaton, Vet, Bank XRP, Laura Loomer specifically commenting on Bill Hinman, Digital Asset Investor again, Brian, who's commenting on the Ripple SEC case, guy Daniel commenting on the Ripple SEC case, Alex Cobb, Zoom commenting on Ripple SEC case, Abs, Jungle Inc., Ashley Prosper, 604 XRP. And we get to the first person finally who is not commenting on the Ripple SEC case. Keep going. Another Ripple SEC case. All right, so finally we get to the section where it's not all Ripple XRP, but it's still mostly Ripple XRP. So pretty cool to see that. Just the amount of people in the community who came out and were like, well, this is what we want you to look into. I think it's really, really good to get that in front of the Doge team. and it's a perfect candidate. One of the things I had actually a bit of fun with was like, what do I actually like? How do you explain this to someone who's never seen it before? Um, so this was my post in particularly. I said, for clarity, XRP is a decentralized cryptocurrency, much like Bitcoin and Ethereum. The SEC sued Ripple, claiming XRP was a security, despite previously indicating that Bitcoin and Ethereum weren't considered securities. There is no legal basis for this distinction. As you dig deeper into why Bitcoin and Ethereum were given a free pass, but XRP faced scrutiny, you'll likely uncover significant conflicts of interest that favored certain projects over others. The Ripple SEC case from the beginning has been flawed, representing an unwarranted attack on XRP. In fact, the judge specifically ruled that XRP itself is not a security, and the SEC was acting with an unfaithful allegiance to the law, undermining the millions of dollars spent on the case that should have never been initiated. David Rodriguez says, are you buying and holding XRP long-term? Why? David, I would highly suggest you go to my YouTube channel and take a look at when I first started making videos. That will likely answer your question if I was buying XRP for the long run. The next thing I did in this post was I just shared some links to kind of prove that XRP is the same thing as Bitcoin, just talking about the fundamentals of the blockchain. And then under that, and it's not showing up here, I also included the website for crypto law. So I don't know why that's not pulling up in the thread, but I also put crypto law down here as well. So tried to give them all the resources they might need to take a look at this thing. Nevertheless, though, talk about getting this in front of the right people. Taylor said, what other Doge agency X account is getting that kind of traction? No, this is insane. 17 million views is wild. Wild. And they're going to take note of this, right? They're going to be looking at this and being like, oh, wow. Eve Trustwell says, your clarity when speaking on XRP is unmatched among YouTube providers. Just my opinion, of course. Oh, well, I appreciate that. Took me a long time to get to this point. And even, right, even when it comes to the technicals, I still bumble it around a little bit. But I'm getting there. Yeah, that is Donald Trump level traffic. I mean, 17 million views is absurdity. Crazy, crazy, crazy numbers. Brian Wolf, good to see you. Oh yeah, that's a fun little exercise. Can I explain EthGate for noobs? Yeah, that's a fun one. Before I do that though, make sure to smash the like button because I don't want to explain it 3 different times in a row. We'll get as many people in here as possible. I'll give you my perspective on the entire thing and then good space talk last night. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so make sure to smash the like button and I'll do my brief little description of what EthGate is. So what is Big Trouble about? We'll get into that in a second. It's not XRP related. Okay, cool. Solana meme coin bubble bursting. Yep, you nailed it. That's the big trouble here. I don't think it's big trouble for XRP, but okay. We'll do the quick rundown of EthGate. So, essentially what EthGate was and this is just a really brief version. There's an entire documentary on it. What EthGate was essentially that the SEC got together. They wanted to provide clarity to the market. They started working with some crypto firms to figure out what that clarity would look like. A lot of people internally at the SEC were saying, okay, well, we need to figure out some way to prove decentralization. And there's a lot of really good people working on this. Not a lot of people know this, but there's a lot of people working on the Hinman speech who are really putting a good effort in to make this a speech that was going to help the entire industry. So all the people in the SEC internally were working. They wanted to provide some clarity to the market, give people an understanding of how the SEC was looking at the market, and I don't think anything's really wrong with that. The market needed clarity. Cryptocurrency was blowing up, and people were looking for ways to say, okay, what are these things? After working on the speech for a while, essentially something happened on the back end where one of the SEC directors, who was very closely tied to Ethereum, essentially edited the speech and took out some of the clarity for the rest of the cryptocurrency industries and gave it specifically to Bitcoin and Ethereum. This essentially gave Bitcoin and Ethereum a free pass, kind of jamming them through the door, while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry was left with uncertainty. So the SEC was working on a speech. The wrong speech got read. This gave Ethereum and Bitcoin a kind of free pass by the SEC, while the rest of the cryptocurrency industry was left in ambiguity. All this was happening while there was some stuff going on the back end that we don't have to get into here, but essentially there was a lot of money flying around from different people at the Ethereum Foundation to some of those people who were involved in making sure that Ethereum specifically got that clarity. So the SEC was working internally, provide clarity to the market. Out of nowhere, people were blindsided because suddenly the wrong speech was read on live TV. Bitcoin and Ethereum suddenly had clarity, but it wasn't what the SEC wanted to push in terms of that clarity. It was a new version of the speech that was blindsided a lot of people internally. So suddenly the SEC had this weird speech out there that really couldn't be reconciled because it didn't really make any sense. The SEC was talking for years prior how ICOs were securities. Ethereum had an ICO, and somehow that was one of the few cryptocurrencies given clarity, saying that Ethereum wasn't a security. It didn't make any sense. So there was a lot of confusion created. People were like, okay, so Ethereum had an ICO. An ICO is a security, but then suddenly Ethereum was able to turn not into a security. Didn't make any sense. Tie that back to a lot of the money slushing around on the back end, and it started to be pretty clear. Someone was able to influence some people at the agency to make sure Ethereum got jammed through the door. And then and then the icing on the cake was suddenly Ripple got sued by the SEC by people who were also involved in providing the speech, which was the free pass. And a lot of the arguments made for why XRP was a security didn't make any sense when you listened back and learned about what the SEC was saying about why Ethereum and Bitcoin weren't securities. So there was a real lack of logic in any of the reasoning. The reason why there was no logic in the reasoning, in my opinion, is because the wrong speech was read. People got paid to go promote certain things over other things. So that's kind of where I see it landing. Obviously, there's a ton of detail I left out there, but it all starts with essentially creating this weird decentralization test that didn't make any sense for Ethereum and Bitcoin to be able to pass, but not XRP. And I think the more damning stuff is yet to really be seen. We're yet to really see a lot of the internal stuff. One of the craziest things about EthGate is it's really just fueled by things that all these people said on live TV. All these people kind of got cocky. They didn't think anyone was going to look back. They didn't think anyone was going to realize, and all this stuff kind of got dug up. So that's essentially what I think EthGate was. I think there's still a lot to kind of be uncovered there. I think we don't know everything yet. I think it probably gets worse, because if we were able to find out all this without even seeing any internal documents, imagine what's going to happen when there are internal documents. But we'll see. I hope Doge looks into this. They can provide clarity to the market and kind of restore the reputation, because the problem that the SEC always faced, and I said this since day one, is if they just came out and said Bitcoin's not a security, right? They wouldn't have had many issues, because if they just said Bitcoin wasn't a security, I mean, while it probably wouldn't have been necessarily fair, at least they could have made up some logic on why they didn't think Bitcoin was. The problem was when they moved to Ethereum, because as soon as you move to Ethereum, you're really opening a can of worms, because you needed to explain why Ethereum is different from any other project out there. If they just said XRP, I mean, if they just said Bitcoin, they could have been like, well, it's the biggest thing in the market. We're going one by one. We just feel comfortable starting here. And, I think a lot of people would have been pretty satisfied by that answer. I mean, would it be the answer I wanted to hear? No, of course not. But if the SEC just came out and said Bitcoin wasn't a security, we're starting here. This is a new emerging asset class. This is the largest market cap. It's the most widely adopted right now. As new facts come out, we'll continue to look at some of these other things. I think that would have been perfectly fine. But the SEC opened a can of worms when they also chose to do Ethereum. Because the fact of the matter is XRP was created before Ethereum, and until this speech was given, was larger than Ethereum. So when the SEC was constructing this speech, I mean, really, XRP was the second largest cryptocurrency, and it was really used to help Ethereum flip XRP. And that's where things started to not make any sense. How was it that the SEC went to the number 1 saying that wasn't a security, and then went to the number 3 and said that wasn't a security, but failed to comment on the number 2? And look back to the early days, you can see a lot of tension between the Ripple team and the Ethereum Foundation. There's always been a bit of a competition there, but it just seems like at some point the competition got a little dirty with some inside ball. If anyone really wants to learn more about the intricacies of it, I would check out the documentary. Fruition Films has a great documentary really breaking this all down in detail. It's a great watch. It's a great watch. It will really break down how all of this started. A lot of people are commenting saying, what is the big trouble? We'll get into that now. Yeah, Jimmy Valley has a great understanding of EthGate. He's probably knows a lot more than me. To be completely honest with you guys, I know a lot about it, but I'm not that much of someone who's really into it. My understanding was always that Ethereum used this to try to get a head start, but they failed to get a head start. I mean, they had 4 years to try to catch up to XRP, and the protocol's still broken. So, it just seems to me like almost like an annoying little brother situation, right? Like, I know in the grand scheme of things and during the entire case, it seemed a lot more than that. But if you look at where we ended up, it's really just, it's like it really vindicated Ripple. I've never seen the industry so aligned with Ripple before, so aligned with XRP. The Ripple SEC case really put the entire industry at Ripple's back. And obviously you still see a lot of maximalism and stuff like that. But I actually do look at the case as a net positive. I really do. I think the case was a net positive for Ripple. I think there's a lot of money spent on it, but I think it provided a lot of clarity and really proved that a lot of these weird allegations being made by Bitcoin maxis were nothing more than just fake allegations, because everything came out in the Ripple SEC case. They really couldn't find anything. That was kind of the most damning part. Like, if at the start we didn't really know what was going to come out, right? Like, was there actually something Ripple was doing that was suspect? I personally never thought so, but that was always the big question, right? We don't really know what Ripple was doing. Like, Ripple's a private company. We don't know a whole bunch about how they operate. Obviously, they always seemed very transparent, but we never got to see the inside. In the Ripple SEC case, they looked at every single Slack message. And the worst thing they could find was Ripple employees being like, yeah, like XRP is going to do great. And that was like the damning evidence that Ripple employees were like hyped about XRP. It's just not how it works. You'd find that at any single organization. And in fact, Ripple was putting controls in place very early to make sure that these different things never got elevated to a level of concern. I was looking back at some of those early 2014, early 2015 Slack messages between Ripple and its employees. And it's so shocking how professional it was since day one. You wouldn't find that at any other cryptocurrency firm. So that was the big validation. Everyone expected some crazy stuff to come out, like Ripple to be talking internally about how like XRP is just to like sell on to retail, and it's just a fundraising mechanism. They weren't able to find anything like that, and it just really validated and destroyed a lot of the claims that were being made by people. Yeah, sunlight's the best disinfectant. And for a while, there was a lot of really crazy allegations being made around Ripple. And now when you look at a lot of the allegations being made against Ripple and XRP from Bitcoin Maximalist, it's just all stuff that is provenly untrue. At this point, they've essentially had to stop going after Ripple because the SEC failed to be able to do that even with all their evidence. And now they're just going after the XRP Ledger protocol, which is going to be a very, very bad argument for them. There's really not much they can do there. So yeah, that's why I think EthGate, while it probably slowed down the entire industry a lot, definitely presented some short-term hurdles for Ripple and XRP. I don't know. I certainly think over the long run, it's actually a blessing in disguise. I think it gave a lot of us a lot more time to get some XRP, which personally I was a fan of. Um, and yeah, no, I just don't think it really did much to help Ethereum. I think if anything, it gave XRP a lot of clarity, and Ethereum really wasn't able to catch up. Like, if during that Ripple SEC case, Ethereum was able to completely fix their protocol, stop the flight of users going to different chains like Solana and all these other layer twos. If Ethereum was able to make some huge advancements on the protocol over that time period, it would have been a lot more damning. But it kind of went backwards. It kind of went backwards. And after all that time, XRP still has a massive advantage on Ethereum when it comes to the tech. So it was like, other than some dumb capital flowing into Ethereum because people don't understand what they're investing in, really didn't do much to hold back XRP. Ripple should get their lawyer fees paid for by the SEC. Yeah, I agree. They're getting the gold there. Plane loads coming back in the last 5 weeks. Tracy says 200 likes, kind of lame. Yeah, guys, make sure to smash the like button. We got a lot of people in here. Greetings. And I always say this to the mods, make sure you don't ban or stop any pushback. If anyone wants to come in and if they have problems with XRP, let them stay, right? We want to educate people. Can't educate people if we don't have that pushback. So make sure to let that. Test. Sound check. Test. We back? Huh. I don't know what's happening. Um, yeah, it's the horizontal live stream. Okay. All right. Well, unfortunately, this seems to be a YouTube issue, so we'll just have to stick through it for now. Um, sorry guys. Wish that wasn't the case, but I'm not sure there's much I can do at the moment. Seems like YouTube's having a bit of issues this morning. I can try to shut down one of the live streams. Well, we'll continue for now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, maybe I talked too much about EthGate. Now I'm getting thrown out of here. I I don't know what's happening. It's streaming perfectly everywhere except on one of this lives. Of course, of course, I have 4,000 people listening, and the stream is broken. Um, huh. Well,